Hello cousins, the pernil video is finally here. Let me show you how I make my crispy skin, super moist, ultra delicious pernil. Let's get right to it. I am going to be working with a 7-pound bone-in pork shoulder. Pork shoulder is pernil, and make sure it has the bone in. I'm going to wash it thoroughly with a lot of cold water, white vinegar, and limes. Once my pernil is properly washed and cleaned, I am going to work on lifting the top layer, so the skin layer of the pernil. This is completely optional, but I like to do this because I don't like to poke holes in the pork shoulder skin. Everyone loves the crispy skin at the end, so I do this as an extra measure. Then I'm going to be poking deep X-shaped holes into the pernil. Why X-shaped holes? Because it makes for a bigger hole when adding in the seasoning. Bigger holes, bigger seasoning, more flavor. And I add these holes all around the pernil. There is not one area that doesn't get holes because there's going to be seasoning added to every crevice of this pernil. Next, I'm gonna work on my seasoning. I'm mincing up 4 garlic cloves. I'm gonna be using 6 whole garlic cloves, 4 sazon packets. These are the yellow condiment seasoning packets, and I'm going to be adding in 4 tablespoons of sofrito. Of course, I have my video available on my channel. And I'm also going to be adding in 1 tablespoon of black pepper. This is optional because I like the extra kick. My sofrito is already filled with black pepper. And then I'm going to be squeezing in the juice of 6 limes. Yes, 6 of them. To this, I'm going to give this a mix. I also added in 3 tablespoons of ground oregano. My phone turned off so you couldn't see it. And 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. Give this a good mix, and this is going to be your seasoning for the pernil. If you asked yourself why I was leaving whole garlic cloves in the seasoning, it's because I'm going to be sticking whole garlic cloves, all 6 of them, into the crevices, the holes that we poked of the pernil for extra flavor. Once I stick in all 6 garlic cloves all around the pernil, I am going to follow up with seasoning. We are sticking seasoning everywhere. Don't be shy, get to it, and if you feel more comfortable, definitely use gloves. I will be roasting my pernil in the Reynolds kitchen oven bags. This ensures a super moist and super juicy pernil, and like I showed you in the beginning, you're also gonna have a crispy skin. So I'm going to be adding the pernil into the bag. I find that this is the easiest way to do it, wrapping the mixing bowl with the bag and then dumping the pernil into it. I am going to let this marinate for 3 days in the fridge, so give yourself some extra time because you want all the flavor. I make sure to leave extra space when I tie the bag so that it's easy to move the pernil around. And when I put the pernil in the bowl to marinate, I am going to do this meat side down, skin side up. This is going to ensure that the bottom of the pernil, so the meat side of the pernil, retains all the moisture and all the seasoning. Now, 3 days later, when it's time to roast the pernil, I am going to preheat my oven to 400 degrees. Make sure your oven is preheated to 400. And in a large aluminum pan, I am going to place my pernil meat side down. Ensure that the tie of the bag is facing upward, so it's facing you. And I'm going to poke 3 very small holes around the top of the bag to allow air to escape. And I'm going to bake this for 1 hour at 400 degrees. At the end of the 1 hour, I'm going to lower the temperature to 250, and I'm going to allow this to bake for 2.5 hours. At the end of the 2.5 hours, this is when we cut open the bag and we take the pernil out of the bag, because now we're going to broil it for that crispy skin. All that juice you see down there, do not be afraid. You are going to use it. Trust me. So remove the pernil from the bag, cut it out gently. This is really hot. Look, the skin is still soft. You don't want this yet, but the meat is super tender. And if you take a bite out of this, you're gonna start picking at it just like I do every single time. Look how tender this is. With the kitchen shears, it goes right through. The meat is ready, but the skin is not. Oh, delicious. Give it a try. So now we're going to put this back into the oven, skin side up, on broil. We're going to put it on broil for 35 minutes. And at the end of those 35 minutes, you heard that, broiling always does the trick. We have crispy skin, so I'm going to cut the crispy skin portion off because I'm going to deal with that later. Look at our garlic cloves. Do you see that in there? This is a ton of flavor. I'm going to start shredding the pernil. If you want to allow this to cool, that's completely up to you. I started with 2 forks and then I put on some gloves and completed the shredding process by hand because at this point the heat was manageable. Did I pick at this 100,000 times? Yes. Did I call my husband over and my kid over so they can have some too? Yes. I mix all of the meat with the bottom of the pan juices that we saw earlier, and then I transfer it over to a cleaner, bigger aluminum pan. Now, the skin portion has a ton of fat under it, and I know there are always family members who love it, so I'm going to remove just some of the fat so it won't be too much. That's a ton of fat, but there's some people that love that stuff. So in their honor, I leave some in. And then I'm going to arrange my pernil for the table. I always cut my skin into squares, so it's just enough so everyone can have a piece and everyone can enjoy their cuerito. This is the way I arrange it. This is the big mama way to make pernil. I hope you enjoyed my recipe, cousin. See you again next time.